YouTube? IcySoul here for Icy Duelist, bringing you another discussion video on this channel. I apologize with some of my late videos. As of late, I had kind of with the whole thing of going to visit my mom for Halloween and everything. It kind of was just a big mess, and I totally lost track of stuff to do with the channel. Plus, I had a lot of stuff to do for school, so you know, this channel kind of got mixed up. But I'm thinking we're going to just skip that last October Duel video, whatever, just move on. So that's why I'm going to be, hopefully, getting a lot of this November content recorded and ready for you guys. So today we're going to be talking about why I don't like most archetypes. Now, I know when you make a deck and you're kind of considering, what archetype to play, a lot of people will, play an archetype that either they know they can win with, or they just enjoy the archetype. And the reason they enjoy it may be because it wins, or for some other reason. But for me, I'm kind of picky with what archetypes I actually like to play. What attracts me to an archetype isn't necessarily the engine or how the deck functions. It's believe it or not, really stupid, and it's definitely kind of a niche thing, I think, for me. But what drives me to certain archetypes is the actual card art for the archetypes, and it's not just all what archetype looks cooler. It's some kind of weird, I don't know, color thing with as far as the way the card art is drawn. To give you guys I don't like. I'll show you guys some examples of archetypes that I don't really like. And I think it kind of has to do with repeating a color too much throughout the card art of an archetype. It kind of has that a negative effect on me. What I usually gravitate towards archetypes that have various colors in the different card arts. And let's show you an example of an archetype that I don't really like. Burning Abyss. Right? Here I have Graph and Scarm, both of the Burning Abyss archetype. Now, if you'll notice, both of these cards have lots of repeating black, orange, red, yellow, and you'll see them both in here. And that kind of I think it also boils down to when you're playing on the board, because, and I notice this because I also have, as you see, I have Fire Fists here. Fire Fists are another one I don't really like. Now, Fire Fists are a little bit slightly more varied, but when you're playing online, and these cards on your opponent's side of the field, it is extremely hard to tell what they are. I mean, I think another thing, another part of it is that I like to be able to tell what the card is just by looking at the card art. If I can look at the card art and know what that card is when I'm playing against it, it makes it a little bit more attractive to me, because that way I can not even have to look at the name of the card, or read the card effect to know what that card is and what it does. So therefore I can build a strategy against it. Fire Fists are kind of the first card I really the first archetype I really noticed that I didn't like it because of that. Light Sworns are another one that I don't like. Light Sworns, kind of like Fire Fists, are a little bit more varied, but because I do kind of have a little bit more going on. I only have one Light Sworn. As you see, I don't play Light Sworns. I think I got this second hand from a friend or something. I don't know. But so Light Sworns are another one of those archetypes that the card art doesn't really speak to me, and it makes me not like the deck even more if I'm already not impressed with the card art, and then on top of that, you have a really annoying engine to deal with, like Fire Fists summoning level 3 fires, like all special summoning all those level 3 fire attributes. It makes me even more disgusted with the archetype and not want to pick it up. However, I have found Ghost Tricks. I don't have any Ghost Tricks. I didn't pull any out for this video, but Ghost Tricks are a good example for what I'm about to say, because I think once an archetype kind of slowly dies out and maybe gets knocked down a tier, like Ghost Tricks were pretty big when they like came out. You know, they were getting used a lot. I don't think they dominated any metas, but they definitely were, you know, a really popular archetype. People like to play them a lot. And seeing the Ghost Trick archetype, which, like, especially, I think it's like closer to Burning Abyss than anything else, it had like very consistent card art, like color schemes throughout every single like monster, and even spells and traps kind of had the same deal with it too. But Ghost Tricks I find lately, and I was super annoyed with the Ghost Trick engine too when I first encountered that. Like, it was maddening to have them have the Ghost Trick mansion out, and you know, you're screwed. You cannot defend yourself, and it was so annoying. But I found now that with the lack of players playing Ghost Tricks, and even when it comes to Light Sworns, I find that I'm more attracted to picking up and possibly playing those decks now that some time has passed. They're not as popular. I'm not seeing that same consistent card art over and over and over again in duels. Not seeing it makes me a little bit more attracted to it, and I've kind of wanted to pick up Ghost Tricks, Light Sworns, Madolches. Madolches is actually one I'm really looking into. I might pick up Madolches, and I remember how annoying Madolches were, but I didn't like the card art. I didn't like the engine, but as some time has passed, and Madolches are, of course, they're kind of coming back a little bit now, but I think I've kind of gained interest just in time before they start populating the format again, because I think the reason why Madolches are coming back is because it's people are playing them online because they want to buy these cards in TCG, because many YouTubers have said Madolches will be a pretty good budget deck for the October format. So I think that's why I'm seeing a lot of Madolches lately, but nevertheless, I still am interested in possibly picking up a Madolche deck. And Light Sworn's another one. I noticed that they're selling the Light Sworn structure deck at Target, and I've almost bought it a couple times, but I caved in and eventually bought like Legendary Collections and Special Editions instead. But so you know, I think when enough time passes, I can become attracted to some of these archetypes. Maybe I will play Burning Abyss at some point. I don't know. Right now, I'm not interested in playing Burning Abyss, but I think maybe with time. Same with Shaddoll. I mean, Shaddoll's, I gotta be perfectly honest, the card art for Shaddoll's kind of intrigued me, and I was kind of like, ooh, this is neat. But seeing it run rampant throughout the meta and become one of like the bigger tier decks kind of turned me off a little bit from it, so I'm kind of waiting for them to kind of pass out of the meta before I pick up Shaddoll's, because I do kind of want to play Shaddoll's, but I don't want to play them at their peak, because I've never been one to really go with the meta too much. But let me show you guys some examples of some cards that have kind of attracted me from the very beginning, what I like to see when I'm picking up an archetype. And it's kind of a fairly new archetype, at least to me. Looking at the Familiar Possesseds. This is, what is it? Hiata and Area. As you see, completely different, like, tones and vibes of their card art. Yes, you kind of still got the same art style, but, they definitely make you, like, make them distinguish between the two, and I like to see that. In Familiar Possessed, I tried building Familiar Possessed at one point. My build kind of fell apart, and I kind of just stopped playing them, but, Familiar Possessed is a great example, and this is a deck that I'm actually going to be trying to run a lot of in the October format, and that is Melodious, the Melodious Divas. This card art drew me in from the very beginning, the first time I saw these cards, and it's kind of why I started to get more of the Duelist Alliance packs, just to try to pull these Melodious, because the card art's just so cool. Like, kind of, you know, takes me back to that first kind of love I fell in love with, like, Dark Magician Girl and Magician Valkyria and Magician Fairy Lily, you know, all these kind of, like, girl cards, and I love girl-themed cards. I mean, that's kind of my thing. So, seeing these, and, you know, seeing, like, the different styles of the card art really intrigued me to pick up that archetype, and I already have built the deck for it, and it's doing pretty well. What's kind of funny, though, is that the engine runs, like, kind of similarly to Fire Fists. It's, like, kind of like a similar engine to that, but, I like it somehow. I don't know, but it's like if you get one Melodious out, the engine kind of just says, you know what, let's just get all your Melodious Divas out, and they kind of, like, boost each other up in the process, so, but I'm actually really liking the Melodious Diva archetype, and it is a deck that I'm interested in building. I mean, I have built a deck online for it, but I think maybe when the price is reasonable for me, I mean, I want to get my main core Dark Girlfriend's TCG deck down firsthand, but once I get that done, there are some other decks I want to pick up, like Madolche's Melodious Divas, you know, possibly Light Swarms, so maybe Shadow's in the future, I don't know, but, like, this is why I just don't like many archetypes, though, is because, the card art, to me, is such a big part of the game, and another thing, too, like, take Burning the Abyss back, for example. Like, with these, I feel like they're trying too hard. They're trying too hard to make really badass card art, because, I mean, these, like, Skarm, for example, reminds me of Magic the Gathering. They're trying too hard to copy, like, the art styles of Magic the Gathering, which inevitably has a longer life cycle and a more popular life cycle than Yu-Gi-Oh! But I wish they would stop trying to do that. You know, when you stick to, like, really, like, cute, kiddish things like Melodious or Fire Possessed, it works great in Yu-Gi-Oh! It fits, and that's what they need. That's what they need to do. Is they need to, like, continue making archetypes. I mean, you know, they don't have to make them necessarily girls, but, like, the Toon archetype, you know, Toon World and stuff, stuff like, God, I can't even think of any, like, really, like the white archetype, white, Lady in White, White Prince, like the Skull Servant kind of base decks. Those are cool. Those fit Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, perfectly. And they need to stop trying to be super serious with Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards as far as artwork goes. And, you know, kind of still stick with that, like, that kiddish artwork kind of has a charm to it, and then it makes me want to pick up the archetype when you have that kind of, like, childish charm to your archetype in the card artwork. But I think that's everything I have to say on the subject. I hope you guys like this video, and as always, if you like the content I bring, make sure you go check out my channel. There'll be a annotation at the end of this video, and you can also catch duels, deck profiles, openings, Duelist Jamz, all kinds of other Yu-Gi-Oh! Content right here on IC Duelist. And as always, this is all for IC Duelist. Signing out.